I'm just gonna live streaming. Got it. All right, Grand Rising Elizabeth, we're going to kick it off with a I am a queen.
The things you're about to hear are the powerful inner thoughts going on inside of the mind of a queen. This is the inner symphony of royalty, the epic soundtrack of a queen. I was born a queen. I was raised a queen. I got royalty in my bloodline. I've always been a queen. I'll always be a queen. When I close my eyes and die, I will be a queen. On my headstone, they'll write queen. Every time they mention my name, they will say queen. My legacy is royalty. My obituary will read queen. Every time they mention my name, they will say queen, because I am a queen. Every day that I get up, I say, good morning, queen. When I look in the mirror, I see a queen. When I go to the gym, I work out like a queen. When I eat like a queen. The stuff I read makes me an even better queen. The stuff I put in my mind is righteous, because all day I am a queen. From sunrise to sundown, from the moment I open my eyes to the moment I close them, I am a queen. I pray, I think, I speak, I walk like a queen. No loss, no setback, no mistake will ever change that. I'm a conqueror, born to succeed, anointed to prosper, blessed and unstoppable. And I will arise out of the ashes, because my God will not fail me, because I am, always have been, and always will be a queen. Greater is she that is in me than she that is in the world. I can do all things, because with God, all things are possible. And I am a queen doing the impossible. Failure is not an option. I refuse to concede, because I am a queen when I bleed. My blood is royalty. And anything that stands in my way, I will go through it, over it, or around it, because I am a queen. Nothing can stop. Blessed and unstoppable. I am the undefeated, undisputed, never be mother of civilization. The world says I'm a loser. I get up every day and go to war with that statement. Think I'm lazy. I'm hungrier than ever. Queen mode, conquering all competition. Devil says I have no money. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly in God's perfect way. The world says I'm crazy. The world belongs to the bold. They remind me of the losses I've taken. They said I'll never recover. I serve the God of restoration. I'll make a comeback. They say you can't pay your bills with dreams. Success will come off the assembly lines of my mind. They say I have average talent. Hard work and discipline are the greatest equalizer. Why don't you get a 9-to-5, a normal job that pays every week? Because I'm the head and not the tail, above and not below. Looks like your God has forgotten you. My God will never leave me nor forsake me. You really believe all that stuff you're saying? Destiny is obligated by universal law to concede to the demands of unwavering faith, and I believe I am a queen, committed, hungry, dedicated, fearless, bold, never wavering, full of faith, anointed, prosperous, strong, righteous, focused, disciplined, willing to do whatever it takes to be a queen. I will arise one day to make a believer out of all those who doubted me. I will live with no fear. I will boldly attack the things that scare me. They will not stop me on my destiny. No health issues, no job issues, no financial issues, no relationship issues. Nothing shall stand in the way of my divine calling, because I am a queen. I was born a queen, raised a queen, have always been a queen, will always be a queen. My legacy is royalty. When it's all said and done, on my headstone, they'll write queen.
Yes. Queens. Yes, queens.
Well, we can end the call right now.
No. Whoa, yes. Next time there's a video that goes with it. Next time I'll share that. The whole thing is beautiful. But just looking at you ladies, you Elizabeth, you queens, that
Good
was
morning. Good
enough.
morning.
Good morning. And I'm
Morning.
gonna tell you, Mama Ayaba, I'm telling you, your picture that you get when you walk off screen, you know, that picture, you was like smile, you smile, such a beautiful smile. And it was like smiling back at me as I'm listening to this, you know, just like, yes, yes, my daughter, yes, my friend, yes, I am a queen. So let's just celebrate
Awesome.
being a queen. Welcome, Danny. How you been? My partner.
Oh, Grand
My partner
Rising,
in love.
everyone.
My partner in, oh my
Woo.
God, my partner in joy. My
You
partner,
know what?
partner.
In peace, yes. You know, there was an exercise we do, and it is I'm trying to get on my computer, but Zoom decides to update at this very minute. So it's all good. But as we arise in the morning, we reach up to the heavens
Yes.
with both of our hands as we say our prayers. And then we bring down our magnificence and we pull it down
Yes.
so that
Mhm.
it covers us from our head down to our toes. And we reach up. It's almost like our skin. We reach up and get our skin and just pull that magnificence down. And
Yes.
just really, and then when you say queen, you're like, oh, I'm dressed. Okay. I'm dressed now, baby. Ooh,
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Yes, that was awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, yes. I
Ooh.
was feeling that. Yes.
Yeah, baby, that's
Blood,
right. Reach
my
down and
blood
pull
and my
your
strength.
magnificence and pull it down over your feet, under your feet, and say, I'm dressed.
I'm
Yes.
dressed. I'm ready.
In my queenly garb, I'm dressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Queendom.
The queendom, yes. And with that, I have been saying this. I don't know where I saw it in print somewhere, where when your feet hits the ground, the devil says, "Oh, dang, she up again, Lord." Okay, so here she come. That's right. Here I come. Oh, yeah. So Grand Rising, that's a wonderful way to wake us up. Boo.
Yeah. Reminding us of who we are.
Reminding us. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's beautiful. So, oh my goodness. So today we're going to talk about Elizabeth and bringing forth your babies and finding out where everybody's at this time in your delivering in your pregnancy, or your children that are already here. And for those who are listening and don't know, when we talk about Elizabeth and your children are being pregnant with vision, that's what we're talking about. Not, vision, not a baby, but even though these are your babies, but it's your visions and your dreams. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And where are you in the mix of that, and are you pregnant? Some of us don't even know that we're pregnant, or don't know what's going on in our lives. And why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling? I remember when I was at Fifth Evangelistic Church. I was at the church that I love. And there was a period of time where it was time for me to leave, and I didn't understand what was going on. It was like I had learned all that I can learn there. It was time for me to go to another another place. And I was like, I don't know what to do. You know, there was no anger, there was no issues there. And I loved everybody there. I love my pastors, but it was just time to go. It was time to go. And we were at a small church. The facility was a storefront, and it was just time to go. And I would be driving, and things that were being said, like in the Bible, it would say obedience is better than sacrifice, and it was saying all these things, but it was like, no, I love you, Lord. So it's not about that, but I don't know where I'm supposed to be. I feel this tugging. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I trust them. I love everybody in there, but I don't fit anymore.
Mm.
I don't fit anymore. And it was almost a year of me dealing with that and me being all right. Meanwhile, I was meeting some other people who were they were Christians, and they were you know, in a larger facility, and the church ran in the spirit of excellence. Really, everything started on time. All of that. It was a big church, and I was in total Holy Ghost field, you know, deliverance, everything. And you just go by the Spirit. And there was where the big church, mega church, I will say matter of fact, they had 2 services, and they would get out in time and stuff. And what I learned is my prejudgment of that, or how smaller churches would teach. Some of the leaders would teach that the bigger churches, you're not going to get what you want. They don't follow the Spirit, blah, 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 blah. And I had to, in being there, I saw how the Spirit, the person still listened to the Spirit, and the Spirit still honored what he told that leader to do, honored the time. I mean, people would still get delivered, all that stuff, even in the midst that it was big, because that was the vision that the Spirit gave that person. So I had to stop that judgment on whether you small or big or whatever, but each person's vision is different. And when God gives you that vision, he also knows what timing he's giving you also. Your obedience is, if it switches from that time, will you switch with me in this day for this person? Because I'd go to my church, and if pastor saw us walk in there and we're just messed up, she would stop service and gear it all around that person. She would have us all, okay, we just gonna, she see it, she feels it. She was a praying woman, is a praying woman. And then that service might be all about me that day. You know, no preaching, nothing. It's this person is in trouble. We need to help this sister out. And I love that, but I also had to learn in the spirit of excellence, not saying that was not excellence, but in a different movement of God, it would be taken care of. Well, I also saw in the mega church that when that happened, the pastor would take care of that person. So it was just we all get different visions, just like we all have different babies. None of our children look alike. None of them. Not even the ones that we all birthed, they don't look alike, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
you know, I guess today is just you are impregnated by the Spirit. That you're supposed to do here on earth is important to God. It's important to the universe. It's part of. I remember I had an event, and it was a women's retreat. It wasn't mine. It was at my facility. And this sister, she says, do you know that we come in groups? We come to earth in groups. like groups. So maybe I didn't meet, now Willie just joined us. I didn't meet her, but now I know her. She went to California, or, you know, Yaba went to another place. You know, everybody, Danny came here, but I didn't meet her until another time. So we come
Yes.
in groups. We come in groups and we'll meet each other sooner or later in order to
When
grow.
we need to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
When we need to.
that's
Like
right.
now. Mhm.
Yeah, right,
Like now.
right, right. So
Yeah.
there is no mistake. In the fullness of time, whatever that time is, that's when we'll meet each other, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I do want to add, Queen. Ooh,
did you freeze, Danny? Anyone else want to jump in until she gets back, or I'll just continue?
I'd like to share something
Mm-hmm.
till she returns. And it is Manipura meditation. We do working with our chakras in relation to the 11 laws of God, sharing the parallel energy. And this Manipura meditation says, sharing your spiritual life has to be your priority in relationships with people. Knowing their receptivity or lack thereof will make or break friendships, will make or break relationships in general.
Mm.
So not only do we share, but we have to know. We have to have an awareness of what we're sharing, with whom we're sharing, and how much, and the quality of the sharing for that particular person or group of people.
Yeah,
Because we want them to get it.
yeah, yeah. Ashe.
Good thing. And now a brother I'm going to invite to come on the 18th, he left me with this yesterday. I love the me that the Creator has manifested as my person.
I like that.
I say.
I like that. I love that. Mama Ayaba, she sent me something, and it was saying, how did you say it? Not your person, but
Oh, yeah, your person, as opposed to you.
yeah,
And we don't
yeah,
use
yeah.
you. We say your person because as you obviously it means that you know there's a separation or a difference between your physical way you manifest and your spirituality. And your person belongs to you, but it's not you.
Yes, yes. I said, I love that your person. Because first I thought it was a typing or something
Yes.
like that. And I kept reading. I said, no, that's what she's saying. That's what she's saying, your person. Because that is not you. That is not you. Danny, you want to complete what you were saying?
You know what? I just went right out, didn't I? Okay. I did. I was stating that we're always pregnant.
Yeah.
We're always fertile for
Yeah.
something to be birthed within us.
Mhm.
And our purpose is to find out what that is. What were we supposed to bring to the world? Because your gift doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the world. You know what, Sheila, how would it be if you just stayed at home singing your songs?
Mhm.
Okay, now God would be pleased because you have a beautiful voice, but your gift just not for you.
Yeah.
It's for us. Your husband's gift was not just for him. And so I heard, who is Mamie Brown's bouncing baby boy? What is his name? Brown. I can't think of his first name right now, but he said,
Les Brown.
Les
Les
Brown.
Brown,
Les Brown.
yes. Les
Mhm.
Brown said, don't let your dreams die within you.
Yeah. Mhm.
They did not come here to die within you. They came here to be fulfilled.
Yes.
They came here to be actualized. So we are supposed to be about our business. When those urges come up, follow them. Sheila, what you said about, being at that church and you felt that you needed to move on. What if we stayed in elementary school with those little bitty desks, squeezing ourselves in those little bitty desks? And then we keep trying, see, women do that. We keep trying to keep ourselves squoze into places that have long since outgrown us. We have outgrown them.
Yes.
All
yes,
right.
Yes. Yeah.
So you did exactly what your spirit wanted you to do. Move on. You learned everything you needed to learn right here. It was no heat, no shade, no judgment on any of it.
Right.
But my spirit is calling me elsewhere right now.
Yes. Yeah.
But because as women, we fear what people are going to say about us. We fear that, oh, I'm supposed to be here doing this. And, maybe I started this program right here, so I got to see it out. And and your soul is urging you to go somewhere else. And how many years do we stay in a place that no longer serves us?
Yes. Right.
Given to people that don't appreciate our gifts. How many years do we do that?
And if there's not, there may be an appreciation, but it's not effective.
Yes.
Because
yes.
you're not supposed to be there.
You're not supposed to be there.
Telling her that you're supposed to be over here doing this. So thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, why isn't she receiving this?
Yeah.
Because you're out of position.
Yeah. And we cease being authentic.
Yes.
We cease being the authentic people that we were brought here to be. And I'm telling you, my spirit is soaring when I'm seeing the sister do her thing and working her purpose and making, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I am so enjoying Elizabeth, the Grand Rising. I am so enjoying it. I feel like yeah. So I learned this other one where I'm saying in the fullness of time, in the fullness of this coming right here. And I was at a magic with Nawili at her home, and we were doing art, and she was saying that no, she doesn't say fullness of time because it's a spiral. You're always moving. I said, yeah, because in the fullness of time, then you're stuck in that circuit, in that circle, and there is no time in spirit. There is no time. You're just constantly spiraling up. Spiraling, I like that.
Elevating, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
When you speak
Awa,
of,
it's so good to see you working your art. We can see you in
you know
the
what?
background. You are doing the
finally-
Elizabeth.
I am finally learning to multitask.
Mhm.
I finally got it together on my phone, and it's like, okay, now I can move around. So,
Yeah.
yeah, because like you said, everything has its purpose and time, and I said, well, I can do this and that.
Cool.
But when you speak about leaving and growing, leaving an organization or leaving, like you said, you left a church. I was part of the Nation of Islam for like 10 years. And out of the blue, sitting there, it was like a bell went off. And I said, I graduated. I'm done. And like you said, it was no anger. It was no reason, physical reason, but I felt like Dick Gregory say, he don't belong to any religion because he is so much that he can't be contained in this one little area of life.
Yes.
And so a bell went off and they, Sister Harvard, where you going? Sister Harvard, will you be back? And it's like assalamu alaikum, and same thing under the Christianity cloth. I went to this church, that church, and I feel like I said, I'm a sifter.
Yeah.
I have collected what I needed in my basket to go
Mhm.
along this journey. And it's not judgment or disrespect. It's like I appreciate my time there.
Yeah.
But like that voice told me, you graduated. It's
Yeah.
time to
Yes.
move on to something else.
Yes.
So I was listening to
Yes.
spirit. Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, and being bold,
Oh,
or I'll say the word bold, but also surrendering and trusting to move
mhm,
about
mhm.
this, our business, the spirit, our business, to move about it. The spirit of, I'm not saying it right, but you know what I'm saying.
No, you saying it right. Yeah. You saying it right. You
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And it's the trust. For us, we say we have trust issues, and that's a big part of it. Um, can I trust, that I'm making the right decision? Can I trust that, I've got trust issues. We don't have trust issues. Let me tell you something. We will go into a restaurant and we will sit down. We will order food. We will trust that when the water comes,
Yep.
it didn't come out of the toilet. We trust that when the waiter comes and they bring us our food, that they didn't do anything lascivious with it. We trust.
Yes.
We do. But why don't we trust ourselves? Why don't we trust the instincts that God placed within us? That's the issue. Not that we don't trust. Our issue is accepting that God gave us everything we need to do this job that we were brought here to do, to live the purpose we were brought here to do. So you're saying it absolutely correctly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember when I got back into church, I took this class called Inner Essence. And then I ended up working with the sister. So we was a spiritual class where you learn, you have a conversation with God, how to hear, and, how to, and to talk and feel free to talk with the spirit. And there had come a time where I would say, oh, Sister Donnie, God told me this and blah, 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 and, and I'm gonna do this. And then she would say, did he really tell you that? Did he really say that? That's what she would say. And then I would question it immediately. And I said, well, he didn't say those words, but I knew what was being said to me. And then that would cause, because she prayed more than I did, and that's when you begin to trust everybody else except for yourself, and how God and how the spirit speaks to you, and how your knowing is manifested. Well, it was, when the Lord speaks, it could be the wind, it could be a billboard, it could be, like when I was telling you that he showed me on a billboard. I'm just driving. She looked just like me, and she was an addict. She was, like, if you continue down this road, this is what you're going to be like. Danny, I can see you. You're looking pretty in this picture, girl. I need that. I need that picture.
You need that picture? I'm trying to leave my phone and go to so let me do this. Okay.
So yeah, so that was one of the other things. I was dependent on those prayer warriors to cover me, and to make sure, if I really need to make sure that I'm hearing right, I needed to hear it from somebody else. So I had to cut that stuff. I had to stop that. And I had to create my own relationship and my own time and my own trust. And I'm a leader and stuff, but they were more spiritual than me. you know, and
Nobody's more spiritual than nobody is more spiritual than you.
right, but
Nobody.
that's where I
Nobody.
was. I was,
Yes.
even as a
Right.
leader, I was like, you know, they are praying women. I mean, they could pray for hours and hours and stuff like that. But I had to
You were
learn.
looking for validation.
Yeah, or well, yeah, validation and direction, because they were some praying, I don't take that from them at all. But I had to stop and say, okay, no, you got to be in charge of your own food,
Yes.
your own nourishment, what things you put in you, where you're going, the direction, and trust in the way that spirit is speaking to me.
Yes.
Yeah, and God knows how to speak to each one of us individually. He knows when to go high, low, you know, when to whisper or when to yell and put it right in your face. So, and that's, you know, that's part of the,
And sometimes, yeah,
go ahead.
sometimes it can be so unbelievable what you're hearing. And you'll say, oh God, I know you don't want me to do that. No, I know you don't want me to quit my job. I know you don't want me to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Who was that saying that they, yeah, I'm sure it was on here that God had told them to do something. I think it was, what is her name? It'll come to me, but she was a guest on here, and she was saying that God had told her to go and do this and tell this person that, and you know, these stories when God is telling you to go and do something, and that was Dr. Sue. Yeah, Dr. Sue. And yeah, just being obedient to that. That is, you know, that's her developing a one-on-one relationship, which is what I was in the midst of, trusting myself, trusting what I hear, trusting God as my source, and it didn't have to come through someone else like in the biblical days where you had to hear from the priest. No, you're the priest. You are that in yourself, in your life. And you know, I don't need to go through anybody to talk to my, you know,
Absolutely.
to talk to myself, you know. And anyway, but I had yeah, it's so cool. It is so cool.
I would like to share something about trust in relationship to time.
Yes.
We have we look at the enslavement period, if indeed it did exist. We look at that as something that happened back when. But time as a system was created by man. Time doesn't really exist in the method, in the way in which we've been taught about time. I say that because of what happens in our minds. You can think of a song, you can hear a song, and you'll go right back to whatever that time was when that song had meaning in your life, or a situation, and it could bring tears to your eyes, the same tears that you had way back then and way back when, or laughter when you had all of this stuff that they call what the woman calls it, revisiting or going back. Look, I got kittens, so when you see me turn that way, them doggone kittens that got on my bed, I don't put up with that. So that's why I'll be turning like that. And so the pain that our ancestors endured, and that we are those ancestors returned, and the joy, all of that is right here. So part of the mistrust comes from the fear that was created within us from the abuse that our ancestors experienced during that time period. I always used to say that we have a schizophrenic relationship with God, because you're in the bottom of a boat and you know what you just left, a beautiful village and a beautiful family and people who loved you. You had a position in the village, you had responsibility, and now you're on the bottom of a boat, buck naked, next to people that you do not know, being sexually abused by some folks whose features you've never known in your lifetime. And you call it on this God, and God this and God that, and help me and save me, and nobody's coming to save you. So in those situation, that situation, we have inherited this, I don't say inherited, we brought it with us. This fear and it's not total distrust, but it's like, I don't know if God is really there. Is this God really speaking to me or whatever. I'm not speaking about my experience because I don't have that experience, but I know that people have that experience because I help a lot of people. I think the reason I don't probably have that experience is because in my family, my father always said we never were slaves. Now, some families can trace themselves back to the free Black people. Everybody wasn't enslaved. So if you're one of them strong but women and know you were right. That authority, you came with that authority. And it didn't necessarily came with you from Africa. You were rooted right here. Ivan Van Sertima already said we've been here, 5,000 years before the white man came. So when we talk about our fears and we talk about our lacks, it goes somewhere and we can trace it to that someplace. But the second thing I want to say to that is, as a priestess in African culture, the Yoruba system and the Saracen system, priestess just simply means the caretaker who has the essence of God and take that essence to the people. We as women, as we call ourselves women, the womb of men, or as divine beings, we carry this. We were born with this. They say that little Black babies in the hospital are the first ones to raise their neck up. There's a little Black babies in the hospital are the first ones to open up their eyes and look all around. So you already know your essence. The essence of God came with you when you came into this planet. The other thing I want to say, the other thing I want to say about trust, your root chakra. If your root chakra has been damaged in any kind of way, it affects your trust. A lot of times, everything we think is coming from the head ain't coming from the head. Some things is coming from an imbalance in other parts of our physical system. Absolutely. Right, sister? And later on, I'm gonna share this with y'all. This is something can you see it? This is the unk that I did, but it came to me. See the baby down there? Somewhere the baby is in there.
Yes.
And the unk, the top of the unk represents infinity. And you know, how many of y'all know the unk is the shape of your uterus, your womb and everything? Yeah. So this part is your womb, the fallopian tube and the eggs, so nothing is by accident. I heard one of you all say. So if it's not by accident, it's by design. Yeah. So we're here by design. And what you said about coming here with a group, a woman I met years ago, Ayata, she said, you're going to meet the people that you came here with from heaven. Yep. That's what she told me. And where we're meeting each other.
Yes. We're part of that group.
Yeah. And I think what you're speaking of is cellular memory.
Yeah, that's it.
It's cellular memory that we get from being, as you say, on a slave ship in the bottom, laid out. It's cellular memory. And so we can be healed of that. And it's called healing our ancestral patterns, and so we don't have to take on the essence of a slave.
Or the fear.
Or the fear, yes, or the fear of it. And so, yeah, but it's just all about knowing what's going on in your body at any given time. And if you're not sure, ask the Holy Spirit, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Yeah.
What is this?
What is this that makes me?
Whatever it is.
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 It won't let me.
It won't let me.
Hold my peace.
Hold my peace.
Yes.
Woo! Yes, Lord. It won't let me.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Yeah, I was reading Conversation with God, and when it gets, it's Conversation with God 1, 2, and 3, which is basically about and you as an individual, and then it goes into friendship with God, and then it goes into
My
communion.
favorite.
Yeah. And the communion
Mhm.
with God, I mean, when I was reading it and God was just talking just sweet stuff. I mean, sweet stuff. I was just walking and just in tears
The tears.
about who I am, just in tears, just, of joy and relationship. It was like you've met somebody who gets you, gets you because it is you, And
It
oh my
is
God.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were
Yeah.
just want to talk about that. I want to hear from you, sisters. What do you know when you became pregnant with the first baby or the one now that you're carrying, or just do you remember when that happened? Do you remember when you said, "Be it unto me," without using those words? When you gave into the spirit impregnating you to bring forth whatever that vision and dream is?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, I'm gonna tell you about the leap, linking everyday extraordinary people. And I where I live, when you drive out, when I was on the other side of Jefferson, when you drive out, you get to the Jefferson, you're going to either turn left or right. And there was a building right there in front of me, had been there for years, never paid any attention to it. All of a sudden, I saw the building. It became real to me. And it had a sign up there. And, you know, um, so anyway, I said, let me give them a call. I had no idea. Let me give him a call. And then he shows me, I walk in there and he tells me both buildings are available and stuff like that. And he said, so what would you do? And I said, ooh, I'm walking through 90 square feet. Okay. I'm walking through 90 square feet of the building. And I said, let me get back with you. And when I got home, God just downloaded the whole building to me, just downloaded. You're going to do this in here and this over here and that over there and That's when I became pregnant with Leap. And then it was a group of people we were already meeting about doing something like Leap. And matter of fact, I called it, it was EEP, Everyday Extraordinary People. And we added the L on there. And so that it became Leap, linking everyday extraordinary people. And where we were talking about leading everyday extraordinary people, well, I didn't need to lead you all. You have to be, I mean, you know what I mean about I'm a leader, but I didn't need to lead you all. We walk together. We guide each other. We encourage one another. We enhance what each other is already doing, and we, just that type of stuff. Anyway, we got to Leap, and I went through. That's when I became pregnant with Leap, and then when I realized that I am the one who creates the space and the opportunities for people to express and experience their full self-expression, their passion, and get paid. It all became the name, everything came, everything as I began to walk the path. What was, like I said, I started with EEP. And then when the group came together, community, then we added the L and it became Leap and all of that kind of stuff. It's just amazing how it happened. So that's when I knew I had a baby, and that also that the community could raise, you know what I mean? the
Oh,
auntie,
yeah.
uncles, you know,
Mhm.
all of that. So
Yeah.
that was when I became pregnant with Leap. And then there was another time when we became pregnant with the City of Arts, which I call COAS, and the arts is spelled with a Z on the end. And then the fullness of what that name is, like the sister said yesterday, where she was saying that she didn't name the baby till 3 days after that, because she wanted to hear, and it wasn't in a book. It was not, finally, it came to her, what the personality of this baby, it just came to her. So I want to know if anyone would like to share which baby you talk about, because none of us are spring chickens. So I know you got several babies. You got some babies, like I had my girl baby, that's a natural hair. And she is 43 years old, you know, she runs herself. I just have
Yeah.
to step in, just like I have to step in on my son, and you know, and hear what are you going through, and mama, I just need to talk to you. Can we just ride around and talk? That's what we would do. We would get in the car and just ride, and we'd get home, and
Oh,
he was
yeah.
still talking, and we were still talking, and I said, well, we might as well drive some more, shift it into, and just drive around and stuff, you know. But each of those babies, each of your children, if you have several children or nieces and nephews and stuff, you
Yeah.
see they all have their own personalities, and how you feed them is different. How you feed them is different. So I don't know, Danny, you want to start?
I would love to start. Years ago when my dad passed away, and I lived with my dad. And so when he passed away, my dad was a ham operator. So he would have that radio going all night and a little screeching and all of that. And so when he passed away, I could not rest. And it wasn't that I was tired or anything, I just could not rest. I eventually realized that the sounds that I had gotten so accustomed to were no longer there, along with his presence. So I had a friend who had been trying to give me a massage for years. And I just, I was just like, nah, I'm good, I'm good. So I realized that I probably would need a massage. So I asked him, and he said, well, just make a pallet on the floor. And so I made a pallet on the floor. And he came over, and when I woke up, what I said was, ooh, y'all can make people feel like this? I
Yes.
have to learn how to do this. It wasn't, oh, I got to incorporate this into my routine. It wasn't that.
Yeah, yes.
I have to learn how to do this, okay? So then I was talking to Alita, and I said, I think I'm gonna go learn how to do massage therapy. She said, well, call Mita. I say, well, Mita know where to go? So she looked at me real strange, right? She said, Mita is a instructor. She's a massage instructor. I say, get out of here. Now, we have known Mita for years.
Yes, yes.
I did not know that about her.
And
So
she
I
had her own
called
school.
Mita. Oh my God, yes, dressage. So I called Mita. I went to school, and I'm telling y'all, back then to go to massage school was $1,500. And that seemed like a whole bunch of money, and it was. Now they got tuition refund and grants and all kinds of stuff. And she allowed me to pay on it as I went. And then during that, we had to do our practicum where clients would come in. And there was one lady that came in, her name was Octavia Brown. And she said, so what are you gonna do from this point forward? I said, well, if my family and friends want a massage, I will give them a massage. She said, family and friends. She said, go get my purse over there. And I got her purse and I brought it back to her. And she wrote me a check. I said, I can't take this. She said, let me tell you something. She said, I've been coming to this school for years, and you're the first one I'm willing to invest in.
Wow.
She said, go get a table. And I went and got a table, and there birthed my 35-year
Mm.
baby. My
Wow.
baby is 35 years old in doing massage therapy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so it downloaded into me as you have to learn how to do this, as opposed to incorporate this into your self-care schedule, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, and from there birthed my coaching, because it was through massage therapy that I met Iyanla, and then she invited me to come to a workshop. And then while I was at the workshop, I asked her, I said, do you need some help? I said, because I'm willing to help if you need some. 2 months later, she called me. She said, are you still willing to help? I said, absolutely. Then I started traveling with her. That birthed another baby. While I was with her, she decided to create an institute, a spiritual institute. And even though I was working with her, I said, well, I've learned on the job training here. I said, but I want to go back and learn the principles, the spiritual principles, the foundation of spiritual principles, what it means to have peace and compassion and love and all that. I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So I went to the institute. So that created a whole nother baby in my coaching experience. So, you know, but the baby was always there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the baby was always there. And when the time has come, the teacher will appear.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, right, right. It's so, oh, it's so,
How God unfolds.
it's on
How God unfolds. It's amazing. It's amazing.
in a way that only you understand. I mean, others may, get it and stuff, but yeah, it's good.
They don't, because when I said I was telling people I was going to massage school, they say, you gonna be rubbing on touching people's feet and stuff? I don't know about that. And that's when I learned you cannot share your vision with everybody.
That's right. They will crush it.
They will crush it.
Yeah.
So I learned how to keep my mouth shut, okay?
Mhm.
I
So
learned, I
good.
said, zip it, Danny.
Cast not your pearls before swine. Remember
Come
that?
on,
Yeah.
come on, Ma.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the principles that Dr. Miles Monroe teaches in the lessons from the conception, there are 20 principles. And one of them is you stay away. When they say go hide the baby, go hide Jesus. You stay away until you're pregnant enough where you cannot have a miscarriage from people's mouth.
Oh,
You stay away, you stay around others that are pregnant to protect yourself, to protect your baby. Yeah, because they sure will. I've heard, well, my sister had an aneurysm, and because of the attachments of what you can and cannot do after you've had any kind of surgery or any kind of change, especially major changes in your body. That was Alita saying she can't get it. But what was I saying?
Your sister, the aneurysm.
Right. And then so that caused the change, but I'm trying to think of why I was bringing her up.
There were things she could and could not do.
Oh yes, thank you. And
Sure.
so she likes cooking. She loves to cook, and so she always wanted a restaurant, and or she always worked in a restaurant. And then my aunt and my mom would tell her, because they're dealing with the tragedy of it and how she can't move her arms and all that stuff, and that basically you're not going to be able to do that. I said, girl, don't listen to them. You can still have your own restaurant. If you have to reach up to grab something, you make sure you have a tall brother who can reach up there for you, so you just have to approach it in a different way. But things that they would tell her that she cannot any longer do, she she cooks now, she does all those things. So we have to watch our mouth about telling people what they can or cannot do based on what we are seeing, because we could crush their dreams. And especially when that's what their passion is. we have to be responsible for what we are saying to people about what you can and cannot do. Because when you think about people who are born with no legs, or people who are born with no hands, and are people who are born with no legs all the way up, and they are having babies.
Mhm.
They didn't adopt
Yeah.
babies. They are having it, you know, and has a man and to treat them good and stuff. Oh no, you just have to just dig on in and figure out, you know, how to do this thing in what I have, and where I'm at.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you, Danny. Oh my goodness, that was good. All right, who else remembers the insertion when you became pregnant? Oh, everybody thinking way back.
No, because
I have one.
I want the
I'll
sister,
say-
she made that ankh
You
cup or
talking about this?
container. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I get one of them. Yeah. Mhm.
One of these?
At our
Yes.
Elizabeth
No problem.
conference.
I love to share. Can you really see
Yes.
it? You see the baby down
Yeah.
there?
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll make sure
Mama
you all
Ayaba,
get it.
I think she was talking about Mama.
No, both of them. Both of
yeah.
them.
Oh,
Oh,
excuse
I
me.
want the
But
cup.
she had
No,
put the cup up there when you
I
were
want the
talking.
cup.
Yeah,
And
you
I
were
want if
talking.
you could share the drawing with us.
Let me see your cup,
Absolutely.
Howard. I didn't see it. Oh,
You
yes.
see
Oh,
it?
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. Oh,
now
yes.
I got a story to tell right quick about it. They supposed to be
Yes.
this size here, but it broke. But I don't like to waste nothing. I'm an art hoarder. So I just took the bottom, since it cracked in here, I took the bottom and the top and put them together.
Uh-huh.
So
That's
it's
it.
like I don't waste
Continuing
anything.
creativity.
Isn't that life? You know,
That's
Yeah.
life.
that's
But at
life.
our Elizabeth conference coming, I keep y'all in mind.
Oh, yes, yes. We got to talk. We really have to talk. Mama Heatheroo?
Grand Elizabeth Rising.
Yes, yes.
I remember I had a situation where let me take off my glasses. I had received word from the creator that I need to leave my position. I've been with DPS for 18 years and something told me to get out and get out now
Ooh.
because of what I was seeing from the administration. So I left. And 2 weeks after that, my mother was diagnosed with ALS. And so I was so grateful and thankful that I was obedient and listened because I was able to be home to help with her care. And she ended up moving from her apartment and moving in with my cousin. But I was able to spend Monday night to Tuesday. I spent 2 years with my mother and her cousin. And it was, man, we had a good time. And I was just grateful that I listened to that energy saying to make a change. And so that was my moment. And also, when I became pregnant with my daughter, I didn't know it. My husband said, "Hey, when's the last time you had a cycle?" So he knew something, but and I was unaware. So I had to be enlightened, if you will. But my body was behaving uniquely. I was like, something's not right. I would experience two different things like every other week. It was like something else was happening. So I really didn't know, but I knew something was happening. So a lot of times, like you all were sharing, sometimes you don't know why you're asked to move in a certain way because of that birth or that insertion that's happened that you may not have remembered. But
Yeah.
just to follow the energy and be okay with that. And nothing is a mistake. Things are just different. I just wrote down today that instead of getting unsettled with change, to get better.
Ashe.
Mm.
Ashe.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rising.
Mm.
Those, I'll get right with you, Mama. I just want to welcome those who are just popping in. What we're doing is sharing. When did you become pregnant with the vision that you have now or previous in growing up? You know, when did you know you were pregnant? This thing is not going anywhere. I'm going to have to do this doggone thing. Okay, so Mama Ayaba, why don't you go ahead and share?
Okay, as you said, we've lived long enough to have birthed a few things. I'm going to start. I'm not going to tell you all of them, but I'm going to start with when I was when I was 3 years old. I was in the bed and I had this. I didn't know what the words were then, so I'm telling you now because then I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I had a vision, and in this vision, I was speaking to this, like it looked like the sky with a lot of stars in it, and a voice said, "When do you want to go? Go down there," or something like that. And I said, "When their backs are up against the wall." So when I came out of it, I was excited because I knew that God had told me he'll let me come down and do my whatever I had to do when the people's backs were up against the wall. So in the 60s, I thought their backs were against the wall. In the 70s, I thought their backs were against the wall, all the way up until now. And I should just get all upset. I said, well, when you gonna let me do my work? Their backs are up against the wall. What are you gonna do? Wait till they're about dead? Did they let me get out here and do something to help these people? That's how I was talking anyway. So that is probably what the energy that has guided my life. And so when I was 12 and I had another one of those experiences, and it said, you must go to New York when you get 16 years old to help find the one true religion. And I said out of my mouth, I can't go to New York. I got to finish school. And the voice said, this was a voice. This wasn't a thought. And the voice said, you must go to New York. I mean, it just got louder. You must go to New York, blah, blah, blah. So I once again iterated that I had to finish school. Next thing I know, I was on the floor. And I said, okay, I'll go to New York. And then it stopped. I know if you all who had this experience, you can't hear nothing. Everything goes silent. It's like you're in a vacuum somewhere. And then I ran up my grandma's house when all of that stopped. And she said, well, God got his hands on you and you just need to just wait and see and it will be revealed to you. So eventually I graduated college, went to New York, endeavoring to be in theater because that was my major. I love theater. I think theater is the greatest tool in the world for telling stories and getting people to see, you know, life without them feeling like you're attacking them. So I got there, and although it was in a time when they were not letting Black folks on Broadway, and the man was very candid about it. He said, well, you know, there ain't no Black people on Broadway, so you probably not gonna be able to do what you wanna do. You can go and audition for all these people, but you know, it's not gonna work for you. So I said, dang. So my friend Weldon and I, we were in New York simultaneously, so I began to sing with him and his band, jazz music. And then life goes on. And I eventually decided, well, I know all this stuff. I've been studying all these different cultures. I have all this stuff running through my head, information. I want to share this. And I said, well, okay, I'm gonna have to design my show so that I can sing music that's gonna bring knowledge to people, that's gonna bring wisdom to the people. Eventually that turned into Arts in Motion, AIM. Arts in Motion, a program that came, all this stuff I'm telling you, came through by the time I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and was working at the African American Museum. So Arts in Motion became what I took around to schools, to the senior center, senior centers, to the churches. Now, how it worked was I could sing my song, but you had to sing it with me. I'll say it to you once, then you got to come back and sing it with me. That singing could be your voice or clapping your hands or dancing or whatever. You had to be in motion. I would read stories or make up stories and tell them, and they would have to act the stories out. Anyway, it was Arts in Motion, and it still is Arts in Motion, which eventually became Universal Truth Ministries. And if you go online, you can find something that was a brother put on there called God is in the Mirror. So if you go to YouTube and you type in God is in the Mirror, it should show up. And in that place was a church. And the lady who had the church, when I came back to Richmond, She said, God told me to let you use my church. So you got it. Do whatever you want to do in there. So I had people coming in there who were all kinds of religions, every kind you know of. And I would teach universal truth, show them the parallels and the links between these different cultures and religions. And people could get up and sing, do whatever they want to do. And this brother, he was from Petersburg, Virginia, and he got up and did some hip hop. When that boy opened his mouth and did that piece, everybody in the church got up. The brother who was Muslim, he was running around the aisle saying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. He was just dancing and moving. The other girl, she was dancing. I mean, nobody disrespected anybody because they had a different system of worship. We all were under the motion and the energy of the Spirit of God, and it didn't matter. So that's energist. So I gave birth to them quadruplets. Still birthing.
Oh,
Still birthing. Then here comes Aduni. So it's coming. And my aunt, I do some crocheting. I thought I'd pull it out. My aunt taught me how to crochet when I was a little girl. And I make hats. I make quilts. I make knee warmers and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to keep going. I told my daughter, when I leave this world, my legs going to still be moving. So y'all going to have a job to stop me from moving.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, and it's that mama that helps you stay healthy and stuff, because you're like, I will do this until I'm gone, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll go peacefully.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Speaking of that, there was this was amazing. One of Fane's clients, she had triplets. And when she was already, she had some spinal challenges and stuff. So it was amazing for her to end up having the baby. They had, you know, she had to do bed rest and stuff. When the babies were born, there was 2 boys and 1 girl. And her youngest daughter, and she might have been 10, something like that. She came in and the baby was in the crib, and she said, Mama, can the baby sleep with me? You know where I'm going. She told her no. So she sneaks in after mommy's gone to sleep and all that. And she takes the baby, she puts the baby in the bed with her. Well, she ended up smothering the baby. And so the baby died. When the mom buried the baby, and then when at the service, she said, she told God, I cannot do this. I can't manage this. And in my mind, I'm thinking about, how do you continue the pure love of your daughter?
Your daughter, yeah.
You know, when she was just disobedient, she would have got a whooping or in trouble, but this was major. And she said to the whole congregation, I cannot live. I cannot live. Do you know that sister went home and died?
Wow.
She went to sleep and she just didn't wake up. Yeah. Yeah, that was that's deep. It's deep. So in the sense of, there was nothing, and she had challenges of the body, but that's not why she passed. She said, I can't handle this one, and went home. And when she went to bed, she didn't wake up again.
That was a true broken heart.
Yes.
So what happened to the girl?
The spirit was broken.
What happened to the little girl?
Yeah, well, the dad, they were together, the mom and dad. So the dad, of course, raised them, and I did her hair after that, and just in, I don't know where it is now, because that had to been like maybe 7 years ago and stuff. So I'm wondering what actually happened, because now she has to deal with, she had 2 a brother and sister older, who would tease her and stuff like that. So I can't even imagine what she went through, and her guilt of it, and how people would feel towards her, and stuff like that. So all we could do is just pray. But the church that they were involved in was very supportive of helping them. And yeah, but you know,
That's a heavy one.
yeah, that was a heavy one, when you can just say, you know, Lord, I can't handle this one. I can't handle it. And she didn't commit her own suicide. She didn't do that. She just laid down and God just took her. They got her. They got the
It
kids.
is a
Got that.
testament.
Mhm.
What
So
it is
anyway,
a testament
go ahead.
to how powerful our words are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a testament that what we speak can come to pass. So we must be diligently mindful, because anything after I am, I can't, I won't, I will, it is a statement to the universe. And, you know, God loves us so much that, you know, the universe says, okay, okay, you know, really. And so we don't know. God says, my ways are not your ways. And so we never can understand the profundity of this thing called God, goddess. How can we? Because let me tell you something. If everybody had their opportunity to make the sun come up every day, everybody had their time. You know, okay, all right, you know, Queen, this is your day today, and how is your day tomorrow? And you know how long we would be in the dark? Because everybody doesn't have the commitment. Everybody don't have what it takes to be committed to the commitment, okay? So we don't understand God's ways. However, we do know there is power in the spoken word, and everything after I am is an affirmation. So I'm very mindful of what I say to myself, how I spoke to my daughter, how I speak to my grandchildren. You know, it's in the affirmative, so that I can bring about the affirming experience that I want to have. So when she stood up, and as the sister said, with a broken heart and saying, I can't live, the universe said, okay, all right, okay, you know. So I'm always mindful, and then I sit back and watch how God works. I also want to say right now, with things that are happening over in Poland and with the Supreme Court and all of that kind of stuff, we don't have to fret.
Yeah.
We don't have to fret. We don't have to, because everything, as crazy as it looks right now, there is purpose in it. We can't see it right now. God will reveal it to us, but everything has purpose. And we just have to trust. Let's go back to the word trust. We just have to trust in the power of God to know that all will be well. All will be well.
Yeah, I think about the word trust, and because the trust is, it's going to happen either way. So you get to determine how you're going to ride it out, you know, and
Absolutely.
yeah, you're going to go through it with dread, and every day you wake up, you're scared of this, scared of that, versus, you know, I'm gonna tell you, when COVID came, I drove my husband crazy because I was gonna have the shot. I wasn't doing all that, and And every time a person comes close to you, you're stuff. And I said, I have said that it cannot come in my body,
That's right.
period.
Too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, because I'm the ruler of this, when it's in pain and all that stuff, I take responsibility for it. I'm doing the yoga every day because I know if I don't do something with how it's feeling, then it's only going to get worse. So, when she said there was a 40-day challenge, I said, okay, you better jump in here right now. And but I just no. And I mean, we've had some hot arguments about it. You would think we argue all the time. My husband and I do not argue. But when it came to that, and his position is that I'm the head of the household. It's my responsibility to make sure you are okay. Pam lives with us too. I got to know that you all are okay. But he believed in science. I respect science, but I believe in my relationship with myself and God.
Amen.
Or God, myself. Okay. And yeah, it said it can't come. It just can't come. I said, I don't know how to explain that to you, but it can
You spoke your experience.
by me,
Yeah.
not in here, not in here. So anyway, now Wheelie.
Day, everyone. Peace and blessing.
Yes.
So I would like to share at least one thing. My eldest son was diagnosed at age 3 with childhood leukemia. He made his transition at age 8. So 5 years on the planet with him were like 500 or more. I wouldn't count it as 5. I wouldn't use the time thing to count those years. But one of the things I know, initially when he was diagnosed, I was working on a client's hair. We were watching Love Boat. And he came in the room and he ran around like he was a car running off the track. And then he would just lay down and go to sleep. And he was 3 years old. So I watched him do that a couple of times, my client and I, and then he went to bed to take a nap. And on this episode, it was about a woman who had taken her child on a cruise. This child, it happened, was in remission from something, but I didn't know remission from what. And so as the story went on, the young lady who was in her 20s met a boy on the boat, brought him to the cabin to meet her mom, and says, hey, mom, this is so-and-so I met. We're really vibing. And I told him about my diagnosis and that I'm in remission. Now, hearing those two words, I was like, diagnosis and remission, it just stood out. So at that point, the music got whatever, and you knew that the mom had something to tell the daughter and brought her on the cruise to disclose something that maybe wasn't in alignment with what the daughter was thinking. So in other words, the mother had the information, she had relapsed, brought her on the cruise to tell her, but the daughter is still thinking she's in remission. So I looked at that and it just really hit me like a rock. And I was like, oh my gosh, how would a family deal with this? How would I, as a single mother, deal with something like this? So 10 minutes later, I went to check on my son and it was blood all over the pillow. I'm like, did he have a bloody nose? I'm checking him. I'm checking his pulse first to make sure he's alive. And I saw it wasn't his nose, it was his gums were like bleeding. So I immediately called his pediatrician and I said, hey, this is going on with my son. He said, try to stop the bleeding. Does he have a temperature? I said, no. He said, watch him the next hour. So I did, gave him some tea, rubbed his feet. The bleeding stopped, but he spiked a fever. Now his temperature is like 102, 103. Call the pediatrician back. Like, hey, now he spiked this high fever. He says, okay, do what you do to break a fever. I know you're not going to give him Tylenol, but whatever it is you do it. And if that doesn't control it, you call me back. Temperature broke. That was in fact, that was on a Saturday. He says, come in here first thing Monday morning. Well, I just found out I was pregnant with my second child. And so we go in Monday morning. But I noticed before we got there, my son at his groin, where his lymph nodes are, I know now, were super tender. So and his stomach was very distended. So we go in, he looks at him, he doesn't have a temp. He asked the doctor, I remember the doctor asking me how I felt. I said, I'm calm right now, but I need to go drink this raspberry tea because I have nausea really bad. So he says, go drink the tea, come back. This is my boy, I got him. Come back. He's giving him a blood test, the prick in the finger. He says, I'm gonna send it to the lab, it's on site. As the few minutes that we were waiting for the results, my son was playing with the Hot Wheels on the top of his doctor's desk. Everywhere that he took the Hot Wheel was a trail of blood. His blood never clotted. So now I'm thinking, okay, I have this nausea. I just drank my tea down. Now I got to go pee, the blood. Okay, Spirit, just help me stay right here. So the doctor comes back in. I'm trying to wipe the desk off of all the blood. And he says, Mom, take a deep breath. I have the results. I want you to go home, pack a bag for overnight, take him straight to Children's Hospital. I said, okay. So my best friend happened to be with me, and she's a nurse. So I go pack, we go straight to Children's, we go in, they're waiting on him. They ran a few basic tests. So I'm thinking, okay, creator of all creators, you're gonna come out and say, here's a prescription that I might use or not, and then you'll take them home. They came out, my son was on an IV, and I remember him saying, Mommy, hold my hand. I love you, Mommy. I broke. I literally broke. But on the outside, I looked as calm as a cucumber. So I go, he's admitted. They start talking about spinal taps, bone marrows. So I'm knowing those words, some basic things that they're looking for, whatever's going on in the cells, what's going on. So anyway, 2-3 hours of testing. I'm on the floor with him. I'm in his room. And it's like my world just said, okay, all I can think of is this my son came to help me birth more love and more love, because that's all I could think of to do in the moment. Because the next choice I was going to make was going to be as a mother who definitely wanted to see her child alive and well. And so I agreed to the chemotherapy. And I also at the same time was calling Dr. Sabi, getting information. So I remember 2 or 3 days later from staying there 24 hours, I said, Creator, can you just send me someone to talk to? Because I'm living this hospital life. I'm nauseated. I'm doing the best I can. I said, I just need an angel. And if it's a sister, brother, I don't care if they polka dot, green, yellow. I just need someone else to show up. I walked outside of my room, and there's a woman sitting in a chair. And she said, are you Nawili? I said, yes. She said, don't you do Badia's hair? I said, yes. She said, I'm one of her sister friends. I said, hello? She said, I'm your angel. Just like that.
Wow.
And I grabbed her hand,
Wow.
hugged. And she said, I'm a survivor of breast cancer, this cancer, that cancer, I'm this. And we just hugged and we sat there. And she said, what do you think the lesson is in this? I said, I feel like if we all have a contract with the creator of our understanding, I'm not sure what my son's contract is, but
Mm.
I know he is my son who has come here to teach me how to live, breathe, and move in love.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
she stayed a few hours and then she was gone. And like I said, at age 8, he transitioned. At his second grade graduation at his private school, the principal came out and said, you all know one of our members isn't here, but I want you to know what I absolutely know. And I'm not so much a Christian or whatever. She said, this young man took a short-term contract to come to the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and the creator said, choose your mother. He chose me and said, come and bring the lesson that I'm giving you to give to her. And he said, I will go. And he said, you're only going to be there a few years. My son said, I will go.
That's beautiful.
That
is beautiful. Ashe, thank you for sharing.
Ashe.
What's your baby's name? What was your baby's name?
Mosi Kwabena.
And what does Mosi mean?
Firstborn on a Tuesday or Wednesday, Tuesday, either Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember, but yeah. Beautiful.
Before
those short timers have powerful messages to bring.
yes. I want to acknowledge that on Facebook, Michelle and has joined us, and she's agreeing, and good morning, Queens and stuff. So just welcome all of those who are on Facebook or YouTube. Come and join us if you just go to Elizabeth Visionary Conference.org. Go there and get the link and come and join us on in the Zoom. Well, thank you. Mama Ayaba.
Yeah.
You were share, baby.
I already shared, but I wanted to ask her, out of her experience, what did she birth?
More love. Oh, okay. I believe I birthed more love, more patience, and the ability to stand in for beloveds, and everyone is my beloved, no matter what. So if you call me and you say, I just got a diagnosis, I'm standing in prayer, in meditation, physical, bringing something. I believe the ability to just stand in and stay in the loving. Yeah. Yeah.
Did your yoga, did your business that you do, was that birthed out of that experience too?
No, that was quite another experience. The yoga was out of not having joy, not accepting and giving myself permission to have joy in my life. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ashe.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Anyone else want to share?
Oh, something.
Oh my goodness gracious alive.
Well, since everybody's silent for a second, what amazes me about what's going on here is the knowledge and the wisdom that y'all are having. And I say you all, I mean, when I can't see everybody's name, but Sister Stillwell.
Yes, ma'am.
The conclusions that y'all have reached about your experiences are so in line with the principles of the Yoruba system or the Yoruba culture. When she said these short-termers come here with some powerful, well, in the Yoruba system, they're aware of all that. They call them Ibikus, children who come here for a short time, and they come to bring, see, we're never disconnected. That's what's blowing my mind, really. We're continually connected, even if we don't know that we're connected to something that's been in existence for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. They're called Ibiku babies.
Ibiku babies.
Ibiku. Yeah, and I'm hoping I'll be able to have one of those sisters to come and speak on something. This is really blowing my mind. I love to have my mind.
Yes.
So thank you for being
I do too. I do. Anyone else want to share when they got pregnant? Mama Hala, I know you got you just pregnant all the time. So
I know. Look like she's birthing a baby right now. What's
yeah,
that?
right.
I am. I'm birth. That's the way I do look at what I do. From a lump of clay, I am forming it, and I
Yeah.
am kneading it, and I am giving it life. And just the other day, I had a couple of pieces that just kept breaking, and I used to get like, oh, upset, but now it's like, this baby didn't make it, but it left a message. It's amazing y'all talking about babies and birthing. For me, I feel like I had little spurts of, how you say, little flashes of light to say, this is what you're supposed to be doing, but I ignored it. I had family members like I was the, oh, don't pay no attention to her, the black sheep of the family. That you just wouldn't listen to the little things I had to say, or I was always shunned and put off to the side, or that's just that crazy, weird child. But now they come to me. But I wanted to go to school for holistic medicine way back then in the 70s. And they used to call it quack medicine. And my grandmother, she wanted me to go to school for nursing. She was going to support me and pay for it. And I told her what I wanted to go to school for, and no, you're going to school for nursing. So I started school for nursing, but I sat there and I felt like Greek this, Latin that. And it's like, well, where is us? From my knowledge, we were here first. And see, me being that Taurus or that stubborn child, it was hard for me to sit there and learn. And I skipped school a lot, and because I wanted to be a holistic health practitioner. I wanted to be in this world. As a child, I would have books that my mother would take away from me. Palmistry, I would read about reading the palm. When it comes to the body, I've had anatomy like 3-4 times, and I could take anatomy, take that class again, because it's always been in me, the interest and beauty of the body. And of course, back then it was made to, like to discuss your body and to talk about why. I was always shut down, shut up, So I was a seeker back then and a searcher back then. I had a friend, now this is when I'm coming into my light. I had a friend that had a book, and the book, she said, read this book. This sounds like something you like. This sounds like you. And it was Queen of Food book.
Yeah.
And so I read that book, and I said, I got to find her. Where is she? Who is she? So in Detroit, when she did workshops, I was right there. Chicago, she did workshops, I was right there. Wherever she was near in the Midwest region, I was right there gathering and taking notes. I thought I found my shining star, somebody to understand me, somebody to help me, because it was a light flickering, or a baby, hey, I was a baby trying to give birth to a baby, and so I studied along with Queen of Food on that level, the Queen of Food back then, that was learning herself. The Queen of Food that had so many illnesses and things she was trying to overcome.
Yes.
And to I don't have the celebrity. I give her kudos. I don't have the celebrity Queen of Food. I had the real raw Queen of Food.
Lord, have mercy.
That was just one connection, but I always put me aside and got a job. I always felt that I was supposed to be there, that I was a mama, and that I would take care of whoever needed to be taken care of. You know how a mama have that back then, that have that purse, and you say,
Yeah.
do you have a second
Come
opinion?
on.
I got it.
Come on.
Come on, girl.
Do you have a needle? I
That's
got it.
right. I got it.
I was the original Erykah Badu bag lady way back
You
then.
the bag lady, right?
Yeah. And deep down, really not knowing my purpose, but feeling that this is something I'm supposed to be doing in this healing world.
Mhm.
So to please my family and hush them up, I went to school for radiology. And I did that for about 8 years, still pushing my passion aside. And something told me, a voice, it says, you better leave this walking or you're gonna be carried out.
Mm.
And it came to me like 3 times. Then I started getting scared.
Mhm.
It was like months later, then I heard it again.
Mhm.
You better walk out of here. Because I always worked in a hospital and I've seen a lot of things. So that just added to my passion of how neglected we were and how the system don't know their self, but refuse to say, I don't know. They continue to work on you or they treat you were a guinea pig.
Mhm.
So one day I just packed my bags and got up and left. And my husband is like, oh my, you're not supposed to leave till you get another job. What are you going? And I said, but he didn't understand.
Yeah.
I was surrounded by unmind like people that just doesn't understand.
Mhm.
So I almost felt like that Jesus that walked by herself, you know. And our road, many of our road is like that. You walk by yourself.
That's right.
And so when I left, I continue wanting. I said I'm going to take classes. So it was Clayton College of Holistic Medicine. I started signing up and taking classes for that. Nobody wanted to support me, so I said that's okay. I'm gonna do this on my own. And in the meantime, I had to birth another baby until that baby was born. And that's when the clay came in. I said, if I had to dig down in my pocket to survive, what can you do? I said, well, I can draw. I said, I like art. Yeah, I have classes, but that wasn't my major. And so I started taking clay classes and ceramic classes from a beautiful lady here in Indianapolis. And she pushed me like a mother and to do competitions, to get on the road. And she had a daughter that didn't care for this. So she pushed me as her daughter. And her name is Susan Jackson's of Susan Ceramic. And she pushed me to take my baby to make money while I studied going to school.
Yeah.
So I created a program called A Day with Clay. And I wrote it up and had it edited. And like how you said, you got to fake it till you make it. I went into the school systems that were getting rid of art. And I contract with different schools to bring A Day with Clay in. And from preschools to high schools. And that's what I did for a good while is pack up the clay world and introduce it. And yeah, and put on, you thought that I went to the University of Arts, Fine Arts and whatever, but no, I didn't. I just followed spirit.
Yeah.
And not knowing that I was being obedient to spirit, but spirit will say, hey, you write this up and you walk like you know what you're talking about.
That's
Hold your
right.
head back. You've been doing this. And that's the way I rolled until I came into birthing my baby, because I always put my baby on the back shelf. My baby starved. My baby was homeless. My baby was neglected because I'm trying to live and do what other people expected me to do.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I did. I put it on the back burner for many years.
Mhm.
And I used to have people whisper in my ear, girl, you can do this. So I'm into the massage and body work. I had a friend that was already in it, and she didn't want to go take these classes, and it was way out in Rice Land, with all the other, I don't want to say white land, but
That's good.
Rice Land.
Good.
But
Rice land.
but it was in a Ville. And here in Indianapolis, it's like, hey, people say they stay away from the Villes, you know. And she didn't want to be in the class, the only Black in the class. So I said, okay. So I joined the class for massage therapy, and I paid for it. And she tried to argue with them about Imhotep being and I said, girl, be quiet. I said, they ain't gonna even hear you and understand you. I said, we know. I said, so let them speak because they done stole all this from us, and we gonna steal it back. We gonna sit here and be quiet and steal it back. So I was her support team, not knowing that I was collecting more tools for to feed my baby.
Yeah.
So after a year we graduated, I didn't care for massage therapy because the way we were taught was 1, 2, 3, move to the next spot. 1, 2, 3. It was so robotic.
Yes.
Keep your hand on the client at all times. Then you had, you know, I did a health fair, and a guy came to me. I did a health fair with somebody else because I didn't care for massage therapy. Like I said, for a year, it's like, man, I don't like this. It don't even feel right. But I ran into my next instructor, who him and his wife, African American, that owned Body Works and Modality. And so I joined them, and I fell in love because it was us and working how we work, and we work from a whole different place. It was like, put the books aside.
From the soul.
What do you feel?
Yeah.
We had to work with our eyes closed.
Yes.
And in China, back then, the massage therapists were blind men and women.
Yeah, we were blindfolded. You're right. We were blindfolded.
We were blindfolded.
That's right.
And we worked with our hands, and we can actually feel the heat in the body, and we can feel lumps and bumps, and we open our eyes like, wow, something is right here. So I was really inspired then, and it's like I fell in love. I remember in my 20s, I took reflexology, working on the feet. And I said, I don't like doing this, but it wasn't my time and place. Everything had a time and place, and it had an order. So I went through my little baby tantrums of everything I didn't want for years later for it to come back around. And so I took reflexology again, and I said, hey, wait a minute. I did this already. I said, but what an appreciation. The feet says so much, and it connects with the organs and what have you in the body. And it's just that, and again, I love anatomy. So I love all that energy work, body work. Then I start traveling. Oh, okay, I'm gonna back up. Then I decide, okay, I'm gonna open my practice. So in 2004, I opened up the Mayat Institute of Holistic Medicine. And I had my clients, and I met many beautiful mentors and leaders along the way in my world. Dr. Yaba Bay, she put the icing on the cake for me. She is real and raw.
Yeah.
And yeah, and she added me. Hey, she took this diamond in the rough, and she polished it off, and she knocked it, and she really pushed me. And it was just a blessing and I was so humbled to sit by her feet and listen. It led me to start traveling. So I would travel international and collect the goods I need to bring home to work on my clients. Because I had another mentor that told me, Hiwa, you so book. Because I would run to the books. I would open the books. And like Dr. Yaba, it's like, you got it. You already got it. I had another, a dear friend of 20 years, and they call him Brother Black, but Baba Charles. He would say, you always sitting behind somebody else. You can do this, because I would always brag and talk about to my clients and to everyone Dr. Laila Africa. Oh, Dr. Yaba and I, we sat in his classes, you know. So I had plenty mentors along the way to push me to give birth to my baby, but I had a difficult pregnancy.
Yeah, yeah.
My baby was delayed and late.
Power. I want to just say one thing about you because it's getting close to time.
Yes.
We did this program in her building she had gotten, and I was doing reflexology on this person, and I was doing it, and Howard walked in the room, and Howard said, "You can't do that. You can't do that no more. Get up. Come here. I need to talk to you." And she put me out in the hallway, and she said, "They're draining you. They're pulling your energy out. You can't do them people no more." And I didn't even realize that was happening until she brought it to my attention, and I realized how weak I was feeling. Howard was not in the room with us. Somehow, some way, she picked up that, and she came in that room and rescued me. So I'm saying she has that sensitivity, whether she knows it or not.
And
You know, we don't have to go to university. You went to universe. That's where you went. You went to universe.
That's what I'm saying. I had it, but, and people say I had it because even Ayaba told me, she said, "You a medium," but I wouldn't accept it because I guess I needed validation too. And it's like, oh, no. Ayaba and I, we went to this Goodwill, and every time I walk past the shoes, I start getting nauseated and I start wanting to throw up. And it's like, why all of a sudden I'm getting ill? And the minute I left, Ayaba would say, "Shake that off of you, turn around, clap, jump." And I would, and it would disappear. She made me realize I had that gift. And I still, you know, to this day, it just happens. It's like an out-of-body experience. It's like somebody else. It's like they call me the little old Jamaican woman around here because they say, "Oh, here she comes." but and because they say I'm real fussy. But no, I'm mama. I'll fuss at you, but then I give you a hug because I want you to do good. It's like I'm everybody's mama. So I have many children, but Ayaba, I have to give it to her because she brought it out in me to see the light. And so now that's the way I roll. I roll on, Ayaba always tell me that I think too much to get out of my head, to release. And when you release, how you say release and let God, and God, and I am his tool, I am his facilitator, and he works through me. And then people will come and say, "Hey, how did you know that?" I don't know, you know, or people come up to you and say, "Can you read me? What you read?" I can't do that.
Well,
So that's my baby of 30 years.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Because we don't come here to learn. We come here to remember because we already know. We already know it.
See?
So the teachers that show up in the universe causes us to remember.
And you did it again.
Yes.
That's what Offset did. Offset put the members, the parts of Offset back together.
Yes.
And you just said it again. So we are Offset people. We set it up.
Set it up. Right. That's right.
I really just appreciate all of you and the shares and stuff, and it's beautiful. I want us to I want to share this with you, and then remind everybody that as Elizabeth, you what is it that you see and what are you speaking? And one of the things that I learned is that I heard this, I saw it, and I had to make it mine. And so I want you to know that I see people drawn into my life immediately who will empower me to run my life and businesses with tremendous finesse. They are spiritual, they are honest, they are ethical, they are resourceful, loving, skillful, creative, intelligent, giving, fruitful, forgiving, passionate, courageous, and unstoppable. We
Ashe.
create synergy and success that attracts billions of people and trillions of dollars. And you're sitting right in front of me. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. I will send this to you, ladies. And then you create it for yourself. So these characters are who show up. And I'm always just like, Holy Ghost, let me know in my discernment what is real, and who is not.
Mm.
And
One of mine is on the call right here, Alita Atchison Jorgen. That one right
that's it, right, exactly.
That one right there. Okay.
Exactly. So I'm gonna let Danny, I'm gonna let you close it out.
Oh God, just look what you can do. Oh God, if we would just surrender to your will, look what you can do.
Yes.
Look what you can do. Not what you've done, not what you're doing right now, and not the blessings that are coming. I'm talking about all of what you can do. And look how it shows up.
Yeah.
Look how it shows up. We are so grateful right now, Heavenly Father, for giving us the voice to speak your words, to do your work. We're so grateful. We're so grateful for all that you've done, for all that you do in this right now moment, and for all of the blessings that we have yet to see. We say amen and ashe.
Ashe.
I say.
Next week, I'm gonna give you guys a concert at 9 o'clock.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ashe.
So that unfortunately it won't be the band, it'll be the music, and we're gonna walk through it. You're gonna enjoy yourselves. But this is what I love about what we're doing, is that we can share in any way that we want to. So at 9 o'clock, we will cut off. Next week, we'll start cutting it off on Facebook and YouTube at 9 o'clock, so we can do some private things, you gotta be in Zoom, ladies, and to come into some of the things that we'll be sharing. This today was delicious. Just thank you all for sharing. And I want you all to have a prosperous and a loving and a joyful and a fun and whatever you want to fill you, to make you feel joyful. If it ain't there, create it.
That's right.
That's the life that I want you guys to experience in these next few days. If you're traveling, first let the
Happy
around.
Mommy's Day.
And yes.
All you Elizabeth. All you Elizabeth. Happy Mommy's Day.
Mommy's Day.
Love it is. Love it is.
Yes.
And
don't forget, bring down and put on all of your magnificence every single day. Yes.
Because I am a queen.
Yes,
I am that queen.
Yeah, we started off with that song. I am a queen.
Yes.
You are beautiful, Elizabeth, and I love every single one of you. And I'll see you next week.
All right.
Blessings, my love.
Yes, thanks.
Yes.